Hello and welcome back to the 30-day challenge. Today we are going to do a little bit of work with our psoas, which is a really huge muscle in the body that can be our best friend if we know how to use it and release it, or it can be our worst enemy. It'll affect our posture, it can give us problems with movement in the hips. So for this practice, I really recommend having some blocks, and you will need either like 2 small balls. If you have like myofascial release tools, you can use those. These are my dog's toys that I'll be using. And if you don't have anything like that, a tennis ball or anything, you can actually roll up socks, and it's really nice as well. They're a little bit softer, so you get a little bit of less intensity as we move through this first exercise, which can be quite intense, but it's a really powerful release. If at any point it's just way too much, you don't have to continue. I will give you alternatives, okay? So we're going to start on our belly with either your socks, your balls, or whatever you're using. It does need to be more or less a round shape. And you'll start by placing the ball right in your hip crease. So you'll feel the bony part of the hip here, and you want to go just to the inside of that. So right at the top of the iliac crest, you'll place the ball there, and then you'll lay down on it. And so this is a lot. You can do one at a time, or if it feels okay for you, I'm going to do both. Because actually my right side is way tighter. My left side, I don't feel too much. But for me, the right side is quite intense. So once you have your props underneath your hips, we're going to start in a Sphinx pose, pulling the chest forward. So here we're putting a little bit more activation into the psoas as we put the pressure of the balls. And then slowly, if it's okay for you, you can start to lower down, trying to relax the belly. And if you're doing one at a time, I'll let you know when you need to release and change. But just try to breathe here. Make any adjustments that you may need. Maybe you didn't hit it quite right the first time. And this can be really intense. I know it is for me. I feel it all the way up into my mid-back. And that's because our psoas is a muscle that starts at the top of our quadricep, wraps around our pelvis, connects to 3 of our lumbar vertebrae, and then connects again at the back of our diaphragm. And if you're doing one side, go ahead and start to switch to the other side. And it can be really hard to sort of let yourself release, especially when you have something poking you. But really try to invite the sock or the ball or whatever you're using, invite it to release. 3 more deep breaths. And you'll once again start by coming back into that Sphinx pose. Remove one sock or ball first, and then the other. And then lower down, bring your hands in line with your chest. Pull the chest forward and lift up. Maybe you walk the hands forward a little bit, pressing all the way up. Pressing the hips down to the floor, so taking advantage of that release through the psoas. And start to lower down. Press back onto hands and knees. Keep the knees underneath the hips or slightly behind. Walk the hands forward. Bring the chest down. And start to walk the hands back in. Take your right foot and step it out wide to the right side of the mat. And pull the chest forward here. So this is a great place for blocks. And actually I recommend blocks here because what we're actually looking for is this stretch through the front of the left leg up into the hip. So the higher you are, actually the deeper the stretch will be. And then we'll lower down and you can get really flexy into it. But for here, the further back you are, the deeper you're going to get this stretch in the front of the left leg. And that's really what we're looking for today. And as you lift yourself up, think of pulling this left hip forward, shoulders back, and the gaze can be wherever it's comfortable for you. So this is a really nice practice to do on a Saturday, if it's the end of your work week as well, and you've spent a lot of time seated, because we're opening up through the parts of the body that end up getting cramped in chairs. And start to walk yourself forward. You can stay up on your hands or lower down to the forearms. Start to bend into that left knee. And you can either stay here just with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling, or if you have the flexibility today, you can reach back for that foot. I'm going to stay up on my hands today, because for me it actually is a little bit deeper through the front of that left leg when I do. And gently release. So from here, bring the left knee in a little bit. You can sit on that left heel. Or if you have the flexibility, you're going to bring the left heel to the outside of the left hip If this is not okay for your knees, please don't do it. You can stay here, or you can bring yourself up onto a block. Right? So the left heel's outside the hip or underneath, and the right leg is straight. Start to walk the hands back, just to a point that it feels good for you. I am now completely covered in London's hair from laying down on the mat. So once you get to where you're going, lift the hips up, tuck the pelvis, press the pelvis forward, and then lower back down. And you'll feel the stretch along the front of this quad just amplify when you do that. And that's what we're looking for. Try to keep the thighs parallel. That left thigh is really going to want to open out to the left. And if you have more, you can start to lay all the way down. This one's really intense for me, especially now that I've incorporated other activities into my physical practices, cycling, dance, swimming. It changes the yoga practice. And start to come back up. Walking in slowly. Pressing up onto that left knee. Bringing the right knee back, coming to hands and knees. And maybe it feels good just to do a few cat-cows here. Or moving in any way that feels intuitive for you. And then you'll bring the left foot forward. And once again, grab your blocks if you have them or something to help elevate you. And we're starting by walking back. So already I can feel a huge difference in this side. I know that my right hip flexor is much, much more tense than my left. And part of that's also because my right psoas is much tighter. So take note of these differences and adjust how you need to. It doesn't have to look the same, and it probably won't, and that's perfect. Try here also to keep the belly engaged. So instead of pushing it out, try to pull the navel up. This will deepen the intensity. Two more deep breaths. And walk the hands back in. You can release the blocks, bring the hands back down to the mat. Start to bend that right knee. The toes can point up towards the ceiling, or you can reach around with the hand if you have the flexibility today on this side. And again, you have the option to drop down to the elbow. I'm going to stay up on my hand just because it makes it more intense for me in the areas where I'm tight. I have quite a lot of openness in the hips, but in the quads, the hip flexors, I'm quite tight. But seek out what you need and then Start to breathe or continue breathing and releasing. Couple more really deep breaths. Release the foot, come back onto the hands, pressing yourself back up. And you'll start to sit back on that right heel, or if you have the flexibility, you'll bring the heel to the outside of the hip. The left leg is straight. And again, as much as you can, you want the thighs parallel. The right thigh is going to want to splay out to the right, but as much as you can, keep it the knee facing forward. And then you'll walk the hands back just to where it feels okay for you today. And when you get where you're going, lift the hips, tuck the pelvis. You'll feel that quad stretch intensify. And you might feel or start to get a cramp in the foot. I often do. If you do, no problem. Come out of it, stretch the foot out, come back in. These aren't muscles that we habitually get so deep into. So be patient and kind with the opening. I can actually still feel my left thigh trembling from the release on the other side. And slowly start to bring yourself up. Pressing onto that right knee, bringing the left knee back to meet the right. Sit back on both heels. Bring your blocks back behind you on whichever level feels good to you. You're going to once again tuck the pelvis, press the hips forward and up. And lower the hips back down. Thank you so much for taking this time with me on a Saturday morning to do a quick little psoas release. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.